Okay, so this week you're going to learn how to take a print screen, and a print screen is really just a digital image, a graphic file of what is on your screen. Okay, so if I'm looking, I'm going to minimize this. I'm looking at my desktop and I want to take a picture of that. So a print screen is the result of taking the picture. Now what I'm going to show you here is multiple ways to do this, but let me just say on Windows XP, Windows 7, and Windows 8, and you might be saying to yourself, I don't even know what version of Windows I have. So that's something that I hope that by the end of this class you will definitely know the answer to. As a matter of fact, week 6 hands-on, that's what you'll learn. Now, on any of these operating systems, okay, you can try the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to show you the old-fashioned way, which is basically this. You find a print screen button and you hit it. Okay, and then I'll show you the new way to do it, and I think it's a lot easier, and hopefully you can do it with the new snipping tool. And then I'll walk you through how to do it on Mac and just show you Windows 8, just so you can, because the interface on Windows 8 is just a little bit different. Okay, so let me go to the desktop, show you the old-fashioned way of hitting the print screen. Remember, and now your print screen button based on your keyboard might not be obvious and you have to find it. And if you have a laptop, it might not be obvious. So you have to find that that button on your keyboard. Now also think about the fact that everyone in the class is going to see the results of your work here. So if there's something on here you don't want everyone to see, please change it. Okay, so I'm going to look down at my keyboard, found my print screen, and I hit it. I just hit the button. Nothing happened on the screen, so it's a little confusing about if it really took it. So this is why we call it the old-fashioned way, because now you have to go find your Paint program. And inside of your Paint program, what you can do here is just paste it. Now that is the print screen, okay? And then what you'll do is you'll save it. Okay, so I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to save it as either a PNG, and that's the extension, or a JPG. And these are just file types, okay? So whichever way you save it, of either of those two options, just make sure you know where it's going. Okay, so that's saving the file using the old-fashioned print screen. These days, and I'm not going to save it, these days there's a new tool that I prefer over the old print screen, and it's called the snipping tool. So I'm going to do Start, I'm going to go All Programs, I'm going to go to Accessories, and under Accessories I'm going to find, hopefully, my snipping tool. So the snipping tool is like the print screen except easier to use, and you'll see why. Now if you don't have it, you'll have to do it the old way. Now one other step, and you'll notice I already have it here, is I like to click, drag, hold, and pin it so that I have it, because for our class you're going to need it for several assignments. So I'm now just going to click on the snipping tool, and what that does is it grays out or whites out my screen a little bit, gives me some options. So in this option of snipping tool, instead of taking the full print screen, which is what the print screen button did, this gives me options. And this is good because if you're using this tool, you can do the rectangle, or what we call the selective print screen. Okay, so let's first just do the full print screen. Oh, it looks similar to the print screen button once we got into Paint, but this actually didn't make you get into Paint, which is nice. File, Save As, and again, pay special attention where it's going. Mine's going into the Pictures directory. I like to rename things that make sense to me. I recommend you do the same. Okay, and PNG's fine, and that's the file extension. Okay, so I'd already done it before, so I have to replace it. Now I'm going to get out of this. I want to show you one more time because you'll need this in week 6. Now if I wanted to take only a part of the screen, then I would do, and it's already defaulted to the rectangle, is I could just do that part of the screen. Okay, so now again, this is not for this week, but it's just another way that you're going to need to know how to do print screens. And the real benefit of something like the snipping tool is that you can take selective print screens, because with the button you'll have to then modify or edit that inside of your Paint program, because it's going to do the whole screen. Alright, so now let's switch to my Mac. Okay, so here's my Mac environment, and now on this environment it's really fun. I have these keys, the Shift key, the Apple key, and the F3 key. And when I do that, what you can see is it's taken a print screen, and let me just pull it over here, and it's already saved it to my desktop. So again, it's a really nicer way of doing a print screen. And if I want to do just a part of my desktop, I do that Shift, Apple key, and this time 4, and now I get the ability to do a selective print screen. Okay, so that's the ways you can do it on a Mac, and let me just show you two because I think it's worth. And you might be wondering, Rio, how are you having all these operating systems? This is something I'll talk about in lecture coming up. But now on Windows 8, what I like to do here is I right click and I say All Programs. Oh, my bad. Try it again. Right click, All Apps, and then in here what I use my arrow keys over and I see if on Windows 8 I have the snipping tool. Okay, so I look through and I go, yep, there it is. So I can use the snipping tool. There's also keyboard shortcuts like Alt Print Screen on Windows 8 as well if you want to do those. Okay, so I have these two options available to me regardless. So I think you should be, hopefully that gives you a visual on what you need to do based on your different types of operating systems. Even if you don't know how to answer that question, what is an operating system? Now once you've done this, there's one additional step now that'll be new, which is to resize, and then the rest of these steps will be the same as what we saw before in week 2, although the text here will be a little different. Okay, so now I've given you a link to a site called Pixlr. Let me just go ahead and, I've already opened it. And now you'll say open image from my computer. Okay, because any of those programs you use, it saved it on your computer. Okay, and now I can go find it. Now my directory happens to be already at pictures. You may have to click through and find it, and then find the file that we're talking about. And now how do you know that? Well, first it's got the date that you're working on it and the file that you named it as. You can also use this nice feature by looking at details and then sorting by date. And then I like that because it'll bring the current date, any file with that current date up to the top of the list. Okay, so I'm going to bring that file in, double click, now opens it in this website. So it's uploading it and opening it. Now what we're working on, just to clarify, is we're going to resize this because your print screens will most likely not be 640 by something. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let me do image size. So my print screen is 1080 across, 10,024 down, and that's actually the resolution that my screen is set at. So what I want you to do is I want you to say 640 on the first number. And when you do that, it automatically adjusts the second number, the height number. And this is because it's constrained by proportions. But really, and we'll talk about aspect ratio at a later date, but only change the first number. Don't change the second one. Now, once I click OK, it resized the image. Okay, now it didn't crop it. Cropping it is something different. Okay, so now let's do this. Now that we've resized it, the file is now a different actual size as well as the resolution. You do a save. And I'm going to go ahead and keep it the same name. PNG is fine. And when I click OK, it's going to bring that file back to my desktop. And because I already have one, it'll say, do I want to overwrite it? And I say, yeah. Okay? Or I say, yes. Now that I've done that part, I can actually close Pixlr out. Okay? And now I'm going to come back over here. Now the rest of this, the uploading to SkyDrive, doing all that, we've already done in week 2. So if you need help with that, go back and review how to do that. Okay, so that is your, if you need review on that, go back to week 2 because all that should help you there. Now I've given you here also just a visual on what this is. Here's your link on your reply to your desktop, and here's your experience. Both of these are done in these headings that I've been talking about. Hopefully you have an experience with. And then you'll write 150 words about whatever your experience was here. Like one of the things I love to hear in this is like, do you know what your operating system was? Okay, which print screen option did you use to create your print screen? All right, or whatever other challenges you may have run into here, right? So this is a really important lesson because we'll get to revisit this in coming weeks, and knowing how to do this print screen is fundamental to getting through this class. So hopefully if you run into any challenges, you're coming to get help. But if you watch this video and you see the different ways I've done it, you should be fine. Okay? All right, so I think I'm going to leave it there. The only thing I didn't do here was I didn't write the 150 words. There's no replies due this week, so you don't have to do that. I do want to test it, like I said before, logging out of your SkyDrive or your Gmail to make sure that link works is important. All right, I hope this helps you out.